Mortal Kombat 1 haters are dumb. I'm not talking about people with valid criticisms, or even people that prefer other games. That's completely normal. I'm talking about the people with really dumb takes. The people who find any reason to hate the game, and sometimes they even make things up just to hate on that too. So today's video is all about them, because it's okay to criticize Mortal Kombat 1. I myself have made entire videos about that, but blind hatred is never cool. But it can be very funny to mock. First up, we have the cameo haters. These people are the definition of insanity, because Mortal Kombat 1 has been out for over 1 year, and yet on any post about this game, you're guaranteed to find these haters demanding the cameos get removed from the game. And they actually think this is gonna work 1 year later. They're still trying this tactic. Like mentioned earlier, it's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, yet expecting a different outcome. The cameo characters aren't going anywhere. They're not gonna get removed from the game. Can you imagine what it's like to be one of these people, just sitting in front of your phone or computer screen all day and waiting for someone to post anything about Mortal Kombat 1 and then immediately spamming delete cameos now in the comments? Just imagine that being your life. Listen, it's okay to want a 1v1 mode added to the game. I myself think that could be fun and interesting to play. But if you're hating on the game solely because it has a new mechanic, then that's just crazy. But here comes the craziest part. Some of these cameo haters will say that MK9 was better because it had a full tag team mode. That's right, the same people who can't handle cameo attacks are complaining the game doesn't have 2v2. Listen here, child, if you can't handle cameos, then a full tag team mode would have you crying on the floor trying to delete this game, but your eyes are too filled with tears to see the screen. Once again, some of these cameo haters are crazy. They think cameos are annoying and tough to deal with, but can't comprehend that fighting off 2 full enemies at once would be way more frustrating for them. And since they bring up Mortal Kombat 9, for the record, just so they know, that tag team mode was absurdly busted. We're talking block strings that were impossible to escape. You had to get hit on purpose and then pray you had 2 bars to use combo breaker. But then if you did get hit in Mortal Kombat 9, you were guaranteed to die, because pretty much every character in that game had a touch of death combo with the right partner. And you're telling me you would prefer that over the cameo system. Now, maybe if that tag team mode was balanced, I would agree with you, but we're talking about NetherRealm here. These guys are the kings of unbalanced gameplay, especially back in Mortal Kombat 9, but even in Mortal Kombat 1, people complain about how the same 5 to 10 characters are overpowered. And you expect those same developers to make a tag team mode that is not crazy broken and super frustrating? You're crazy. Trust me on this. If you can't handle cameos, then you won't be able to handle tag team, because it's literally 3 times as complicated. Next up, I want to talk about the combo haters, but real quick, a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Dave. Dave is the banking app on a mission to level the financial playing field. With Dave, you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less, with no credit check, no late fees, and no interest. Get the money you need without having to ask friends or family for help, because with extra cash up to $500, you can buy groceries, fill the tank in your car, or pay rent, and start spending it instantly when you transfer to a Dave checking account. Download Dave today at dave.com/true. That's dave.com/true. You could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less when you download Dave. No credit check and no late fees. Download the app now or go to dave.com/true. Dave is not a bank. Banking services provided by Evolve and Trust, member FDIC. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Eligibility criteria applies subject to bank approval. Service and/or instant transfer fees may apply. Advances typically approved in 5 minutes. Alright, and back to the video, because now it's time to talk about the combo haters. That's right, combo haters. In a Mortal Kombat game, they exist somehow. Even though this series has had crazy combos ever since the very first Mortal Kombat game. If you think Mortal Kombat 1 didn't have high damage combos, you're crazy. If you think Mortal Kombat 2 didn't have touch of death combos, then you're crazy. And if you think Mortal Kombat 3 didn't take those combos and crank them up to 11, then you're also in denial. And I bring that up because usually the biggest combo haters bring up the old Mortal Kombat games and say that's when the series was best. Well, buddy, I hate to break it to you, but those games had crazy combos too. The only reason you don't know that is because you never fought against skilled players. And that's okay, but don't stand here pretending like you know what you're talking about. To break it down in simple terms, a combo hater is someone who believes that Mortal Kombat 1 is bad because the combos are too long, or the combos do too much damage. You think I'm joking, but these haters actually exist. And at first I wondered where these people came from, because Mortal Kombat 11 had crazy combos too, 70% damage or more, and the combos were easier. And sometimes you didn't even need meter. 1 or convert 2 crushing blows into fatal blow and boom, 80% damage in one combo. So where were all these combo haters during Mortal Kombat 11? But that's when I realized they were hiding. That's right, they knew their opinion was dumb and that people would mock them for hating combos in a Mortal Kombat game. But now that tons of people are hating on Mortal Kombat 1 for various reasons, these combo haters now feel emboldened to speak out. So let me be the one to call you out. If you truly think Mortal Kombat 1 is bad because the combos are long, then you are dumb. Mortal Kombat 9 had long combos, Mortal Kombat X had long combos, and in Mortal Kombat 11 the combos were long too and required less meter. So the fact you're complaining about Mortal Kombat 1 proves you're either lying about having played the past games or you only played with your buddies, which once again is completely fine, but stop pretending you know what you're talking about. The Mortal Kombat series has always had crazy long combos since the very beginning, and in fact in the 3D era these combos got even crazier. So it really does perplex me how people hate Mortal Kombat 1 for having long combos. In my mind, they're either brand new to the series or only played it at a really casual level and never tried to learn the combos. Alright, but next up we have the story haters. These people pretend that a bad story mode immediately makes the entire game garbage. And you know what that means? They're not fighting game players. Plenty of great fighting games have terrible story modes, but guess what? The gameplay is still incredible, and that's what fighting game players are here for. Spoiler alert, most gamers buy the game for the gameplay, not the story. That's what movies are for. Now, of course, if the story is great, then that's a fantastic bonus. I love when video games have great stories, but it's not why I buy a fighting game. For example, Tekken 7 had one of the worst story modes I've seen in recent memory, but guess what? I loved that game. It was crazy fun, and I played it every week with my buddies because Tekken 7 is fun. Yeah, it was fun to mock the story mode because it was so terrible, but it's not why I bought the game, so who really cares? And for the record, Mortal Kombat 11 had a much worse story mode. There was a new plot hole in that story mode every 15 minutes, and the characters acted like idiots all the time, and the main villain was garbage. Kronika is literally the worst Mortal Kombat character ever made. Yes, I'm counting D'Vorah. Kronika is worse than D'Vorah. She supposedly made the entire universe, yet is somehow the dumbest character in the story. If you don't believe me, I made a full video about it. I'll put it right here on screen. Check it out if you want to see why Kronika is such a bad villain. Mortal Kombat 11 had such a bad story mode that it makes the MK1 story haters even more hilarious, because a lot of them will defend Mortal Kombat 11 in that same comment, and that's how you know their opinion is terrible. If you think Mortal Kombat 11 had a good story, then you must also think that Spider-Man 3 is the best in the trilogy, and there's no defending that. An opinion is an opinion at the end of the day, but don't be shocked when 90% of people make fun of you for having a terrible one. Now, I'm not going to pretend that Mortal Kombat 1 has a perfect story mode. I'm not a big fan of the multiverse shenanigans, and I also don't like many of the changes made. I understand it's a new era, but having Hanzo not be Scorpion feels weird, and having Sector and Cyrax changed into women also feels weird and unnecessary. There's plenty of things I don't like about the new story in Mortal Kombat 1, but I'm not going to pretend that makes the game bad, because it doesn't. Not only does Mortal Kombat 1 have much better gameplay than Mortal Kombat 11, but the story mode was also better too. That's my opinion. You can disagree, but I think way more facts are on my side here. Alright, but now finally, it's time for the last group of haters, and that's the people who claim Mortal Kombat 1 has no content. That claim is outright absurd to say out loud. And to make things even crazier, these same people will claim that previous games had more content. For example, they'll jump to MK9 because it had the challenge tower. Boy, that challenge tower was completed by most players in a week or so, if not the first month. It was guaranteed to be done with. And once you completed the challenge tower, there was no reason to keep playing it. Now compare that to Mortal Kombat 1, which has the Towers of Time that always give you new modes and new challenges and new unlocks. And also the Invasion mode. I know plenty of people don't like Invasion mode, but also a lot of people do now. It's gotten a lot better. And every 60 days or so, we get a fresh new Invasion mode with more stuff to unlock and more reasons to play. So no, Mortal Kombat 9 did not have more content than Mortal Kombat 1. And honestly, Mortal Kombat X had less content than both, and yet people still praise Mortal Kombat X because it has fun gameplay. Oh, but the crypt, don't forget about the crypt. Mortal Kombat 9 had the crypt and it was super fun. Most things to unlock in the crypt were hot garbage. And as a result, 90% of players went online to find out where the best stuff was, they unlocked it, and then never went into the crypt again. Because once again, most things in there were not worth unlocking. So no, Mortal Kombat 9 did not have more content than Mortal Kombat 1. In Mortal Kombat 9, once you finish the challenge tower and unlocked the few things in Crypt that were actually worth unlocking, all you had left was the online. Oh wait, no you didn't, because the online in that game was terrible. The lag was real because there was no rollback yet. But then we have the Mortal Kombat 11 defenders, and this is where it gets hilarious. When you ask these haters how Mortal Kombat 11 has more content, do you know what they say? Oh, there's more costumes and gear stuff to customize with. Son, you listen here. Nobody buys Mortal Kombat to play dress up. Having more fashion options does not make the game better, and most people would not even count it as content. Having more costumes and stuff to unlock in your game does not make it better. And furthermore, if you look closely, a lot of those extra costumes are just the first two costumes with the assets mixed around to make it look like a new costume, but it's actually not. Now don't get it twisted, I think having extra costumes is cool, especially with the DLC characters. I think Mortal Kombat 11 did a good job in that regard. I don't disagree that it's awesome to have more costumes, but I will say that if you think having more stuff to unlock means more content outright, then you're simply wrong. Mortal Kombat 11 had Towers of Time, which was cool, but Mortal Kombat 1 has that too, along with invasions and pretty much every other mode that Mortal Kombat 11 had. The only game mode that Mortal Kombat 11 has and Mortal Kombat 1 doesn't is the AI versus mode. And I know darn well you're not playing that, because if you're wasting time in that mode, then well, I just kind of feel bad for you, it's not fun. The Crypt was fun though, and I do hope that in the next Mortal Kombat game, NetherRealm brings it back. However, at the same time, I'm not going to pretend that having the Crypt suddenly makes Mortal Kombat 11 great, because just like in Mortal Kombat 9, most players beat the Crypt in under 1 month, and then had no reason to ever go back down there really. Which is why in the grand scheme of things, you can't claim that it's extra content, because it was gone immediately. As you can see, Mortal Kombat 1 has a lot of haters, and like mentioned at the start of this video, I'm not referring to people with valid criticism or people who simply dislike the game or prefer a different game. That's completely valid and very normal. Today's video was just about the haters, people who look for any reason to complain about Mortal Kombat 1 because that's a popular opinion to have right now. It's kind of in vogue to hate on Mortal Kombat 1, but honestly, a lot of fighting games right now are being hated on by their community. For example, I hear Tekken 8 is getting a lot of hate from its audience, and Guilty Gear Strive is getting a lot of hate from its audience, and as a result, Mortal Kombat 1 having haters is nothing new, but even so, I wanted to point out how ridiculous some of these arguments are. Like the title of my video says, Mortal Kombat 1 haters are dumb. Thanks for watching everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.